We are back talking about the fast-growing Latino vote could be key for Barack Obama. The question is, can his campaign get them registered and get them to the polls? Let's bring in pollster Matt Barretta, who is the founding principal of Latino Decisions. Good morning.
Good morning.
Your group has this cool new interactive map that really kind of explains the impact of Latino turnout. Walk us through it.
Sure thing. You know, what we found is that as Latino registration numbers are steadily increasing, as you mentioned in the story, they're still slow. There are a number of states outside of the traditional states like New Mexico or Texas where the Latino vote can influence the outcome of this election, and that's what we're looking at here in our interactive map. Users can go and increase or decrease the Latino vote or increase or decrease the vote for Obama and show how the states will change. States will flip from leaning blue to leaning red, and you'll see just how important the Latino vote can be in a number of states across the country this year.
Give us an idea of some of the states that people might not expect. I mean, we always talk about Florida and places like New Mexico and Arizona, but what are some of the places that people might be surprised where a Latino vote could really make a difference this year?
Sure. You know, the Latino population and registered voters has been growing outside of those key southwestern states. And so if you take a look at states like Virginia, North Carolina, Ohio, Indiana, maybe even Pennsylvania, these are states, sort of southeast and Rust Belt states, where the Latino population is growing very fast. And there's been tremendous efforts by different Latino registration groups to increase that civic participation and bring more Latinos on board. The polls are showing that a lot of those states are very, very close, neck and neck. And so even states where Latinos are only 3 or 4% of the electorate, that might swing the election. Because,
as we saw in Richard Louie's piece, that the most recent polling shows that Latinos overwhelmingly support Barack Obama. The latest poll, 66 to 23%. What's behind those numbers?
Well, I think what you've seen is that Romney has not had an ability to make that personal connection. He hasn't been able to sell something specifically to Latinos that they feel comfortable with. And so when he talks about repealing the health care bill on day one, we find regularly in our polling that Latinos were very supportive of the health care bill and health care reform. They have the highest rates of being uninsured. And then you add on top of that that during the primary, Romney really had to go far to the right on the immigration issue. He's trying to backpedal from that a bit now, but that caused a lot of damage. Those statements that he made during the primary have really resonated with Latinos in a negative light. And so I think it's the case more right now, not that Obama is doing anything spectacular, but rather Romney just hasn't been able to get a foothold at all.
I guess the big question then for the Obama campaign is, why aren't more Latinos registering and voting?
Yeah, I think voter registration is the big $64,000 question for Latinos, and we really need to see an increase in that. Back in 2008, you saw the Obama campaign do record registration. We hadn't really seen that before from a presidential campaign, and a big question is whether they'll continue that. One of the factors affecting Latino votes is that they have a lower level right now of confidence in government. Not only did you talk about earlier the record deportations, but the economy continues to affect Latinos very negatively. And it's not clear right now that either of the two parties are going out of their way to court or to produce for Latino voters. There's just a lot of bickering right now. So I think Latinos are looking at the situation and saying, what's the incentive? And the parties need to do that outreach. They need to make that connection, and then you will see Latino voter registration and participation rates increase. But we haven't seen that yet, that full court press from either of the political parties.
Matt Barretta, it's great to see you. Thank you.